The Philippine Coast Guard said Tuesday 2 Chinese Coast Guard ships hit a Filipino fishing vessel with powerful water cannons for nearly 30 minutes, resulting in significant damage, including in the captain's cabin and the bridge. A glass window was shattered and injured a personnel, while the deluge of water caused a short circuit that affected electrical outlets and 5 outdoor air conditioning units, it said. A Chinese Navy warship also broadcast a radio notice, announcing live-fire exercises, at the shoal, which caused panic among Filipino fishermen, said the Philippine Coast Guard. The Philippine Coast Guard and fisheries ships were deployed to the shoal on Tuesday to provide fuel, water, ice and other aid to more than 35 fishing boats in the area. Several friendly countries have backed the Philippines on the nature reserve. A statement from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called the Chinese action yet another coercive move to advance sweeping territorial and maritime claims in the South China Sea at the expense of its neighbors. The UK and Australia also expressed concern, and the Canadian Embassy in the Philippines said it opposed attempts to use environmental protection as a way to take control over the disputed Scarborough Shoal.
Kuryente, baka ma-oriente kayo. Forward distance, 10, forward distance, 10. Starboard clear, sir. Starboard clear, starboard clear. Ano ka, Kap? Starboard, yan. Yan ka, pwede na. Diretso. Kap, starboard Kap. Kap, diretso Kap. Kalde ka, pwede. Pwede.
Russia has long believed that hybrid attacks remain its exclusive weapon of pressure and that Europe would not dare to respond. But as the New York Times has discovered, governments in several EU countries have begun to take covert action against Russian provocations. This is the first sign that the Kremlin is losing its monopoly on sabotage. The New York Times, citing its own sources, reports that several European countries that are most often subjected to Russian attacks are already conducting covert operations in response. The details are not disclosed, but Swedish Defense Minister Pål Jonson confirmed that this is not only about strengthening defense, but also about actions that complicate Russia's work. Jonson emphasized Russia operates in the gray zone between the Cold Peace and the Cold War. Now, this zone is no longer one-sided. Europe, albeit cautiously, is ready to use mirror methods. Previously, Moscow was confident that its status as a nuclear power protected it from retaliatory steps. Now, even the possibility of using NATO's Article 5 in the event of hybrid attacks is being discussed. The alliance's Secretary-General Mark Rutte said, "The reaction will be devastating. When it comes to hybrid threats, we are not naive. Steps from confiscating Russian assets to increasing support for Ukraine, are being discussed. Drone incursions into Poland have forced the closure of airports in Warsaw, Rzeszów, and Lublin. Another case of EU airspace violation has been recorded in Romania. European diplomats also link the attacks to an attempt to hack the GPS system of the plane of the head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Russia's NATO neighbors are rapidly losing patience, and it is dangerous to underestimate them. These are countries that not only have discipline and selectivity in their actions, but also have the resources, knowledge, and technology to carry out sabotage attacks on its infrastructure and economy, even in the deep rear. Today, Moscow has a colossal border with the alliance: Finland, the Baltics, Ukraine. And if the West really decides to use its full potential, Russia will face problems, the scale of which the Kremlin prefers not to even voice.
Russia has suspended the work of another major oil facility amid Ukrainian drone attacks. Kherson refinery in Leningrad region, one of Russia's largest refineries, stopped operations at a key technological unit following an attack by Ukrainian drones on Monday, Reuters reported, citing two sources. The unit accounts for nearly 40% of the plant's total refining capacity, which is about 20 million tons of oil a year, or 400,000 barrels a day, according to people who spoke on condition of anonymity. The furnace and several other equipment in the facility were damaged as a result of the attack, the sources said. Repairs could take about a month. To compensate for the damage, the plant reportedly plans to increase the volume of production in the operating sections to 20%. This is expected to allow the plant to maintain processing volumes at a level of approximately 75% of the nominal capacity. It should be noted that the Kherson oil refinery processed 17.5 million tons of oil, which amounted to 6.6% of the total oil refining volume in Russia last year. Ukraine has scaled up attacks on Russia's oil facilities. According to the White House report last month, Ukrainian strikes disabled 20% of Russia's oil refining capacity during August.